Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. I'm Sheldon Bartlett Rumor, and this is it. Welcome back to This Is It TV. For those of you that don't know, I'm the CEO and executive producer of This Is It Network. We connect remarkable women to inspiring stories. We do that through our content, our online digital community, and then wonderful conversation. So I'm excited to be able to dive in with all of you and say, this is our 100th message. I have given 100 messages. Isn't that crazy? Morning messages. This is number 100. Isn't that crazy? 100 messages. Today is the 100th message. That's insanity. And today, with that being said, the morning message for the day is to be consistent. And I didn't know 100 messages ago that I would be focusing on doing this every day. And my hope was to do it every day. My hope was to make sure that I could come to you and arrive every day and show up in that way. And I didn't know if that was going to be the case because I just didn't know what was going to happen. We had no idea what was going to happen. We had no idea whether or not our quarantine was going to be 2 days, 3 days, a couple days, whatever it is that it looked like. And now 6 months into it, for some of us, 6 months into it, we're still kind of in this space, but I was determined. Hello, how are you, Lisa? I know, 100 messages. 100 messages. I'm so super excited. And I didn't know going into it that it was going to be this way. I didn't know going into it that it was going to be, thank you so much, Linda. Oh my God, thank you so much, Joe. I didn't know going into it that it was going to be this. I didn't know how it was going to be. I just knew that I needed to do something to keep me motivated. I needed to do something that kept me focused on what my goals and objectives were, that kept me excited about what it is that I wanted to do. It kept me driven in that way. And so I had to create some sense of rhythm for my life. And in doing so, good morning, Michelle. And in doing so, I knew that hopefully that it would serve other people. Good morning, Dana. That it would serve other people. And I'm showing up for myself each and every day. I'm giving myself some sense of rhythm. I'm affording myself the ability to say, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, this is what it is that I'm doing, right? Who would know, Linda? Hello, Joanne. Giving myself some sense of like where I needed to be every morning, get dressed, put on the lashes, comb the weave. I'm not saying that everybody has to do that, but for me, it has helped me dramatically. It has helped me stay focused. It has helped me determine what it is that I want to do, what it is I no longer want to do, how I want to communicate with all of you and building the relationships. And I've known a number of you that follow me each and every day and that join me each and every morning. I had met, thank you so much. I had met a number of you, in passing at events. We were, friendly. Good morning, Danielle. But now I know you even more, and it's on a different level, and it's in a different way. And I think that it's been a real beautiful journey. Good morning, Erica. Yes, 100 messages today. And I am super, super excited. One, there's something to be said about committing to something and then seeing it through. And I encourage all of you guys to do that as you develop your own campaigns for yourself, because you can't measure it unless you do it. And so often we do something and we don't really like it. And I gotta be honest, today we have beautiful folks that are joining me on all the platforms that we're going live on. But there were some days that nobody came. There were some days that nobody showed up for me, right? And I still had to deliver the message, and I still had to show up for myself, and I still had to feel confident that people would watch it later, or that I was doing it not only for all of you, but for myself as well. And that was so super important, that it's not necessarily just about what you're doing for you and your customers, what you're doing for your customers or the community, but it's really about what you're doing for yourself. What types of rhythm and consistency can you have for what it is that you're doing? People begin to rely on things that are present over and over and over again. There are some key people who follow, fan, and like me. Good morning, Jack. Lisa, if for whatever reason I'm not around or I'm not there, I'll get a little DM from Lisa, my girl, Lisa Bryan, who will just be like, are you okay? Is everything all right? Just because, again, you're consistent. And if you're not going to let your community know that you're not going to show up, they start to get concerned. And that's a beautiful thing that you're forming those types of relationships with your customers, with your consumers, with your community, to the point that they rely on you. So don't be scared of being consistent. Don't be scared. The only way that you can measure something is if you execute on that thing in a real intentional way, right? There was a reason, I have to believe, and it is my understanding that the Just Do It tagline for Nike worked, right? And so it stuck. But it was a campaign. If that campaign didn't work, it would be Nike just something else, right? At this particular point, right? We have to run the campaigns to see what works. In our fast food, fast, quick eat scenario, they test something. If the ham and cheese croissant works, it stays on the menu. If it doesn't work, it goes away. But you have to be able to test the market to see if things work. And so we're so quick to be like, it's not working. No one likes it. Nobody wants it. I'm going to switch gears. I suggest just in doing something, depending on what it is, at least 4 weeks, if not 3 months, if not longer than that, to kind of really test what it is that you're doing and how you're engaging with your community. I know sometimes it could be painstaking. I know sometimes it could be like, I don't really know if I'm wasting my time. But I've told you guys this story before. I put the Scream Your Dream message out into the world, and I put it on as many platforms as I can tolerate. I'm on everything from TikTok to, Twitter. The only thing that I really don't do is Snapchat. Just kind of random, but I don't do it. I'm not active on that platform, and so for me, I'm doing my best to put my message and put what it is that I'm doing out into the world as consistently as possible. If you follow any of my platforms on Instagram, you go to the main page, you'll see the grid kind of setup that I've done. That's intentional. Everything that I do as far as getting my brand out there is an intentional thing. And there are times that I'm like, no one's paying attention to this. I got no traction on this post, or nobody's paying attention to what it is that I've got going on. And then when I went out into the world, I would meet people that that I knew briefly that would be like, Scream Your Dream. Or I would go home and visit my parents and be shopping in the local grocery store. And somebody that I knew when I was 7, when I was 5 would be like, hey, Chell, how you doing? I see you, right? I see you. And I think, and they'll say, Scream Your Dream. I haven't seen this person physically since we were 5. Didn't even know we followed each other on social platforms, but they see you. The consistency of your message is just as important as the message itself, because that's how we learn. That's how we really begin to adapt. We always talk about and struggle with, boring our customers, or, oh my goodness, people have seen this before, or, oh my goodness, they, I don't want to bore them, or I don't want to, I don't want them to feel as if, I'm saying the same thing over and over again. I don't suggest saying the same thing over and over again, but I do suggest saying the same thing over and over again, if that's what makes sense. I do suggest you come up with a campaign that has the same messaging, and within that campaign are independent messages. So you have an overarching campaign. Mine is Scream Your Dream. What is yours? What is your overarching campaign that people can rely on? If it's a tagline, stringing together 3 words, is it a hashtag? What can people rely on from you? Are you showing up for them? Because last time I checked, you wanted people to show up for you. Last time I checked, you wanted people to pay you. Last time I checked, you wanted people to come to your event, sign up for your course, be part of what it is that you've got going on, purchase your product or service. So are you giving them something consistent that they can rely on? Are you showing up for them the way that you need them to show up for you in order for you to take your business to the next level? Are you showing up in a consistent way so they know that you are there, right? The corner store, the coffee shop, they're consistent in their space. If you went to a coffee shop every single day at 8 a.m. and you went there one day at 8 o'clock and they were like, we're closed, you'd be like, I can't rely on this this brand. I can't rely on this coffee shop. You'd be concerned. Why are they closed? What went wrong? You'd ask all of those respective questions. Are people asking those questions about you? Are you showing up in an aggressive way and then backing off unexpectedly? Like, what does that look like for you? Good morning, Donna. And so for me, it's so important. I know 100 messages today. This is my 100th message. I'm a lunatic. It's crazy. It's not even a normal thing. And I have been doing This Is It TV comfortably and aggressively since 2014, if I can even, oh my gosh, which is kind of a crazy thing. And Taquan and I were doing these kinds of morning monologues that I would do, and I would select the quotes, and we have a really exciting thing coming down the pipeline for you guys to get really excited about, and I'll explain. So these morning messages are so important to me for a number of different reasons. One, my mom, and I bring up my mom constantly. So my mom, when growing up, we had quotes all over our house. So she was truly an educator. And so she was a principal when she retired. She was a principal of an elementary school. And she's just constantly feeding motivation and inspiration. So that's where I get this from. And so she put quotes everywhere. Like, we'd go to the bathroom, brush our teeth, there'd be a quote from Martin Luther King or John Lewis or whoever. It would be celebrities and musicians and scholars and educators, and they'd be all over the house. So when you were navigating through your life and you were feeling a certain type of way, you could always look up and find the words. And so often those of you out there don't have the words. Those of you out there are missing the words, cannot find the words in order to inspire yourself, cannot find the words in order to be motivated, cannot find the words in order to take your life to the next level, cannot find the words. And that might be a longer scenario or just for that moment and just for that day. And I was raised, so when you cannot find the words, you call on the words of others. My mother's a religious woman. The Bible was always a resource for that, right? And then also the words of, again, scholars and celebrities and musicians and athletes, those that have lived through trials and tribulations, we pull their quotes. And so, again, if you follow me on Instagram, you know that that's part of my framework, whether it's the Scream Your Dream account, Sheldon Barlat, or it's This Is It TV. Quotes mean so much to me because oftentimes you don't know what you're feeling. You have no idea how to put one thought in front of the other, and what does that mean? How do I collect my thoughts? But when you come across a quote that moves you, or a phrase that changes the way in which you think about your current situation, or the situation that you thought that was a hurdle or a cog in the wheel, things begin to look differently. And oftentimes, again, we're missing the words to be able to get ourselves through. So we find the words of others to be able to make it make sense. So all of you know that or a lot of you know that I've had a book deal for years. Shout out to Lisa, my publisher. My actual book comes out, The Scream Your Dream, right? Your Key to Building Your Personal Brand. Good morning, Marianne. Comes out in the fall, which is super, super exciting and definitely outside of my comfort zone. But what is in my comfort zone is the journals that will be coming out as well. So the morning message journals will be coming out as well. And it's a morning message practice. So it's really calling upon the quotes within this book. And then it's followed by 2 separate pages for you to do this. So you read the quote to yourself, you read the quote out loud, and then you write the first thing that comes to your mind. So it's this really interactive workbook that really follows my philosophy on how I stay positive as often as I can, and how I reference the words of others when I can't find the words myself. And so these journals are going to be super, super fun. And it's just an amazing thing. Yes, I have my book coming out. It's all right. Do you have a book coming out? Yes. My book comes out this fall, which is amazing. It's Scream Your Dream, which is wonderful. Your guide to creating a personal brand that works for you, which is going to be super, super fun. All of the lessons that I've taught all of you is all going to live within a book. And then it's going to be followed up and in conjunction with these journals, which afford you guys the ability on your own time to be able to dive into the quotes of others, dive into the words of others, and really find your way and really find, what can motivate you when you can't find the words. And oftentimes, again, with the Scream Your Dream mantra, I got plenty of words, right? And some of you are introverts more so than extroverts. I thrive, on hearing my own voice and sharing enthusiasm. I live best in that way, which is why quarantine was really kind of difficult for me in the beginning, because, I really feed off of the energy of other people. And I needed to figure out a way to keep my energy moving. Thanks so much, Joe. Keep my energy moving, keep all of, the momentum going for what it is that I had built. Where was that going to live? And so doing that each day at 11 o'clock, creating these journals so I could aid all of you in finding the words in my absence. When I'm not there to give you a morning message, at least you'll have these journals to be able to reference and find words independently. And then also, this book has been very much outside of my comfort zone, and putting pen to paper and being able to work it out. And I wouldn't be able to do it without Lisa Suroff. She's amazing, and she's my publisher, and so she'll be helping me in launching that this September. There's so many things going on, and these are all happening because I was forced to sit down. I believe that the book would never have gotten done. The journals would never be in print, that's for sure. And I know for a fact that coming to you in this way, in this comfortable format, and engaging in such an intimate way would not be happening, would just definitely not be happening if I wasn't forced to be safe at home. And so I see the silver lining. I mean, it's a gold lining in all of this. And I'm so grateful that you guys are entertaining me and allowing for me to come into your devices and give you a little bit of morning motivation each and every day. And the goal of today is to just share with you the importance of being consistent and what being consistent looks like. People can, even though I make mistakes, even though, there's been a number of trials and tribulations over the course of my career, even in the most recent, I show up for myself and I show up consistently. And I do that also to the best of my ability for everyone that I work with and for. And that doesn't mean that I don't make mistakes, and that doesn't mean that I don't fall short, and that doesn't mean that things don't work out. But it ultimately means, thank you, Marianne, but it ultimately means that my job is to keep moving forward so I can encourage all of you to do the same. That's my job. And it's just a wonderful job to have. Quite easy, actually, is to show up and share my voice and be able to do that as consistently and as often as I possibly can. So for me, I'm so excited to be able to be, have tomorrow be morning message number 101, and really being able to start off in a fresh space and be really, really excited about the next 100 days and keep counting forward, right? Keep counting forward into the wonderful things that are going to happen. I've kind of come to terms with the fact that this is our life and our space. Good morning, Erin. This is our life and our space now. And I'm embracing 2020 as much as I can because of the lessons in which it has taught me. And the fact that I was able to be working on this book that will be coming out, and these journals that will be published soon, and the membership group that is launching. So excited about that. More information on that to come. And then it's 100 messages. 100 times I've done this. That's so that's the kind of discipline that I'm asking all of you to have for yourself. If you're saying, Sheldon, I want these things for me. I want to have, I'm also on a fit journey. If you guys follow me on my personal page, I'm trying to get fit. I'm trying to get healthy. And that requires consistency and commitment. And so today's morning message is about being consistent. It's about showing up regularly for yourself and showing up regularly for your community so they can begin to rely on you. And when they rely on you, there's power in that. There's power to share positivity. There's power to educate people. There's power to really move not only you, but your community forward. So I urge all of you to stay consistent. I urge all of you. Oh, thank you so much, Erica. I appreciate that. I urge all of you to stay consistent. I urge all of you to invest in yourself, the time in yourself, the rhythm in yourself, because I know that so often, because of this quarantine, it's easy to not have a rhythm and to have life just happen to you. And what I'm begging you to do is for you to participate in your life and really go after it and really stay focused on what it is that you're looking to do. So I beg you, be consistent. I'm so excited. Today is the 100th message. Unreal. I'm so grateful for all of you that tolerate my madness and show up for me each and every day. I come to you guys live each and every day, Monday through Friday. They keep getting better, and I'm so excited about it. Additional quotes will be added. I'll be adding some additional things and partners and sharing some really great products with you guys as well. So this is gonna be super fun. If you guys are interested in the traditional This Is It TV show and you are interested in having me interview you, I'm available to do that. So just head over to the comment. I think it's this way. Head over to the comment and get in touch with me. I'd love to have you on our show. If you are interested in wearing a little bit of inspiration, our Scream Your Dream apparel store is open. Just thisisItTV.com/shop now. If you're interested in all of the wonderful things that we've got going on, becoming a screamer, becoming an expert, blogging for us, all that information is found within the post. So there's really no excuse. Stalk me freely. Get in touch. My goal is for all of you to find your voice, no longer whisper your wishes, and for all of you to scream your dream. I'm Sheldon Bartlett Rumor, and this is it. Don't forget to follow, fan, and like us everywhere we find at This Is It TV, and log on to thisisItTV.com for more information. I'll see you guys tomorrow for lesson 101. Take care.